On Thursday, September 22nd, coordinated and nationwide raids were conducted by the National Investigation Agency, NIA, and the Enforcement Directorate to crack down on suspected terror funding rings, primarily targeting the Popular Front of India. Described by the central agencies as the largest ever such crackdown, the raids spanned numerous locations across 11 states and involved their respective police forces too. Besides terror funding, the agencies claim that the suspects were also allegedly involved in organizing training camps for terrorists as well as radicalizing individuals to join their organization. The raids have, so far, resulted in the arrests of 106 leaders of the PFI. 4 of these leaders have reportedly been charged under the stringent anti-terror legislation, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. In the recent past, the heat on the PFI has intensified, with not just government agencies and law enforcement targeting it, but also a Sufi body calling for its banning. Formed in Kerala in 2006, the PFI claims to be an organization which works for the empowerment of marginalized communities in India. It is not yet banned in India. Section 35 of the UAPA lists out 39 banned terrorist organizations, accessible on the Union Home Ministry website. Besides global terrorist organizations like the Islamic State, IS, and its various offshoots, the list includes Islamist extremist organizations in India, such as Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, 6 separatist organizations, such as the Khalistan Commando Force, and even the revolutionary outfit in Sri Lanka, the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, LTTE. Despite allegations of its involvement in a number of protests, charges of conspiracy and money laundering, and the arrests of its leaders, the PFI does not feature on this list. In July this year, The Wire had reported that leaders of the All India Sufi Sajjad-Nashi Council, ISK, at an interfaith conference in Delhi, had proposed a resolution advocating for a ban on the PFI and similar organizations for indulging in anti-national activities. Anti-CAA protests. During the movement against the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, in late 2019 early 2020, the Uttar Pradesh police had alleged that the PFI had orchestrated the protests in the state and had, at the time, arrested the organization's state head as well as some 25 members. Delhi riots. Thereafter, the ED had leveled charges of money laundering against the PFI in the aftermath of the Northeast Delhi riots in 2020, claiming that the protests were funded by the organization, and 2 members were also arrested by the Delhi police. Hathras conspiracy. Further, in the aftermath of the gang rape and murder of a woman in Uttar Pradesh's Hathras in 2020, the state police had arrested journalist Siddiqui Kappan for his alleged deep links to the PFI. Claims of Kappan's links to the organization have been contested by his friends and family. Before he was given bail in the UAPA case against him, the Uttar Pradesh government told the Supreme Court in an affidavit that he had a close nexus with the top leadership of PFI/CFI, which is basically formed of ex-Simi members, who in turn have been found to have connections with Al-Qaeda-linked organizations like Outrage in Turkey. Last year, the ED had claimed that the PFI wanted to incite communal riots and spread terror in the aftermath of the Hathras incident. Its charge sheet had named Kappan, along with others. Hijab. The Karnataka government recently told the Supreme Court that the PFI was to blame for the outrage against the government's hijab ban in educational institutions. It claimed this was part of a larger conspiracy, insisting that the agitation in support of wearing hijab in educational institutions was not a spontaneous act by a few individuals. It said the state government would have been guilty of dereliction of constitutional duty if it had not acted the way it did. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for Karnataka, told the court the PFI started a campaign on social media which was designed to create an agitation based on religious feelings of the people. Mehta told a bench of Justices Hemant Gupta and Sudhanshu Dhulia the PFI started the social media campaign over the Islamic headscarf earlier this year, and there were continuous social media messages asking students to start wearing hijab. Leaders' arrest in Kerala. The Palakkad District Secretary of PFI, Abubakar Siddique, was arrested recently for allegedly hatching a conspiracy to kill RSS leader SK Srinivasan on April 16 this year. He was also allegedly part of a group of PFI activists who had prepared the list of leaders of various political organizations including the BJP, CPI, M, and Youth League, the youth wing of the Indian Union Muslim League, IUML, to be targeted in their retaliatory attacks, a police officer claimed to the news agency PTI. Anti-India activities. The Bihar police in July this year said it had arrested 3 members of the PFI and the Social Democratic Party of India, SDPI, in Patna and seized a 7-page document on an alleged plan to establish rule of Islam in India by 2047 from them. According to a report on The Hindu, the document, marked as internal document, not for circulation, said, 2047 CE is not a watershed in history, but signifies the end of the century of independent India and the beginning of a new one pregnant with changes, positive and negative, cataclysmic or otherwise. We dream of a 2047 where the political power has returned to the Muslim community from whom it was unjustly taken away by the British Raj. Assistant Superintendent of Police, Pulvati Shatip, Manish Kumar told The Hindu that the suspects were arrested for anti-India activities. With PTI inputs,